Back-to-back dominating performances by Northwestern Basketball. Wow. Something special might be brewing. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Northwestern, your daily podcast on the Northwestern Wildcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Locked On Northwestern, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We really appreciate you making Locked On Northwestern your first listen today. I'm your host, Carter Bird. We're available wherever you get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can find us. We're also on YouTube. Just search Locked On Northwestern. You can find us there. And wherever you're listening, make sure you're subscribed and you turn on notifications. You don't want to miss an episode as we are getting into the thick of basketball season here, as Northwestern has 3 games this week, a little bit more active than they've been here in a while. And they followed up their Saturday performance that was so dominant with another one here tonight, as they got a 92-54 victory over UIC. Coming into this game, Northwestern was 8-2. They were looking to start 9-2 for the first time since 2016. They were 8-2 for the second consecutive year. They beat DePaul on Saturday, 83-45. Chase Audige was awesome in that one. 28 points, a career high. 6 3-pointers, also a career high. 5 steals, also a career high. I mean, just probably the best game that we're going to see out of Chase Audige all year. Anytime you go 28 points and have 5 steals, it's pretty impressive. It was actually the first 25-plus point 5+ steal performance by a Northwestern player since the 2010-2011 season. He also won the Fred McGrath Award for the MVP of the Northwestern DePaul game. Northwestern was able to hold DePaul to 30.8% shooting, 16 of 52, and turn them over 22 times. The 38-point margin of victory is the most in the series history between those two schools. It's also Northwestern's largest margin of victory against a Power 6 school since beating Rutgers by 39 February 27th, 2015. Northwestern has held seven opponents below 60 points coming into this game. They'd also held 3 opponents below 50 points, the most in a season since the 2016-17 season, when they did it 4 times. The defense was holding opponents to 55.6 points per game, good for 7th in the country and 2nd in the Big Ten. Opponents were shooting 34.2% from the field, best in the Big Ten and 3rd in the country. Chase Audige was leading the team in steals, leading the Big Ten with steals, with 2.8 steals per game. And he had a teammate who was not that far behind, Ty Berry, 1.7 steals per game coming into this one. Robbie Barron, 10th in the league in rebounds per game with 7. Matt Nicholson, 7th in the league in blocks per game at 1.4. Boo Buie was leading the league coming into this game, shooting free throws. He was 26 of 29 on the year for 89.7% from the line. Best in the conference, obviously. Northwestern led this series historically against UIC 5-4. Last meeting coming in 2014, where Northwestern won the game 63-46 on December 22nd. 2014. Northwestern, it was 27-14 all-time against the MVC, and UIC coming in, they were 8-4. They had beaten Northeastern on Sunday, so they played Northeastern and Northwestern back to back. Funny enough, but they beat Northeastern 81-73 on Sunday. Jace Carter led the team coming into this game, averaging 16.8 points per game. He had 22 against Northeastern on Sunday. Toby Akani led the team with 8 rebounds per game coming in. This is our first season in the MVC, and they're picked to finish 11th in the conference. And look, this game, kind of like Northwestern's game on Saturday, Northwestern jumped on them. First half, I mean, Northwestern outshot UIC 47%. They were 18 of 38 to UIC's 34.8%, 8 for 23. From 3, UIC was actually a little bit better, 27.3%, 3 for 11. Northwestern was just 3 of 15 for 20% in the first half. Both teams went to the line 4 times. UIC hitting 2 for 50%, Northwestern hitting 3 for 75%. Turnovers, and really the rest of these first half stats is where you're going to see the biggest difference in this game. Turnovers. Northwestern only turned the ball over 4 times in the first half. UIC turned it over 13 times. The points off turnovers, similar story there. 6 points for UIC, 17 for Northwestern. Rebounds, Northwestern out-rebounded them on the glass in the first half, 22-14, 13-11 on the defensive boards, and 9-3 on the offensive glass. That led for more second-chance opportunities for Northwestern, where they had that total 9-2 over to UIC in the first half as well. Bench points, Northwestern had 16 to UIC's 9. Points in the paint, Northwestern dominated that 36-10. So really, you saw a Northwestern team that from the get-go decided that they were going to be more physical. They were going to dominate the glass. They were going to dominate the paint. They just were a better team. They shot better. They had 11 fast break points, too, when they turned over UIC. They got going the other direction. 11 fast break points to UIC's 0 in the first half. 2 blocks to UIC's 3, so UIC did win that stat. But Northwestern had 3 steals to UIC's 2. The players that were noticeable in the first half for Northwestern: Chase Audige, 10 points, 3 boards, 2 assists in the first half. Brooks Barnheiser, 7 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And then you had Boo Buie, 7 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, as Northwestern built up a 42-21 first half lead in this game. It was really a phenomenal effort. They doubled up UIC in the first half, and it was something really impressive to watch, just the effort by this team in the second game in a row where they just jumped on somebody and truly dominated the first half. But in a second, we're going to take a look at the second half and then the whole game as a whole. But first, we're going to talk about our friends from LinkedIn. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps find the right people for your team faster and for free. Add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Also, thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the Locked On Sports Today podcast. Make sure you check it out. The biggest stories around the sports world in 20 minutes or less, plus instant reactions, game recaps, and Locked On's take of the day. Locked On Sports Today, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All right, let's dive into this second half because it's more of the same, really. Because, Northwestern Both teams shot it better in the second half. Both teams shot it better. UIC, 9 of 21 from the field, 42.9%, but Northwestern, 18 of 32, 56.3%. One of the best halves shooting the ball that we've seen Northwestern have all year long. UIC, 5 of 13 from 3, 38.5%. They got a little better from deep, but Northwestern, 5 of 12. They came alive from deep a little bit, 41.7%. And then free throw line, you saw this UIC team get to the free throw line more than Northwestern. They got to the line 15 times, but they only hit 10 of their free throws for 66.7% in the second half. Northwestern, on the other hand, got to the line 11 times, hitting 9 of them for 81.8% of their free throws. Turnovers, you saw Northwestern turn over 5 times. You saw UIC turn it over 8 times in the game, or in the second half. Total rebound or points off turnovers, Northwestern 14 points to UIC's 8. They continued to win that battle. Then the battle for the glass is in the second half is where this game really was determined. 22 rebounds for Northwestern to UIC's 9. 15 defensive rebounds to UIC's 8, 7 offensive rebounds to UIC's 1. So just really dominant on the glass, something that is becoming more and more impressive. I think the presence of Matt Nicholson, as he's getting more and more minutes, starting to start games more often, it's become a big asset to have a bigger presence down low. Northwestern started to win that battle more consistently and more decisively, and it's allowed them to dominate a couple games against some teams that should have at least been a little more competitive than they were. Second chance points, Northwestern was able to win that battle in the second half, 9-3. Bench points, 22 points for Northwestern, 14 for UIC. Points in the paint, yet again, we talked about how in the first half they dominated physically. 26 points in the paint for Northwestern, 6 for UIC in the second half. Fast break points, Northwestern 8 to UIC's 4. Northwestern did not have any blocks in the second half. UIC had 3. UIC won that battle for the entire game, but 4 steals for Northwestern to 0 for UIC. That's what Northwestern is good at. They're good at turning you over, forcing steals. Northwestern goes on to win the second half, 50-33. Your second half standouts: Brooks Barnheiser, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Chase Audige, 9 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. And Julian Roper, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. As that Northwestern team just really, they really handled business in that second half. And for the game, they outshot UIC 51.4% to 38.6%. They were 12 of 15 at the line for 80%. UIC was 12 of 19 for 63.2%. You turned over UIC 21 times while only turning it over 9 times. 31 points off turnover to UIC's 14. 44 rebounds to UIC's 23. Just dominant on the glass. That's 28-19 on the defensive glass. 16-4 on the offensive glass. That right there is how you dominate a team. When you are 4 times, you have 4 times more offensive rebounds as they do, you're going to win more games than you lose. Absolutely. 18-5 on second chance points, 38-23 on bench points, 56-16 points in the paint. You win rebounding the way that you do, especially the offensive glass, and then you win points in the paint by 40, you're going to win every single game you play. 19-4 on fast break points, 7-2 on steals, 20-12 on assists. They were 2-6 on blocks. So they lost the blocks battle. That's one of the only stats Northwestern didn't win. Northwestern did not shoot better from 3 for the entire game, but they were better in the second half. They crashed the glass. They got second opportunities. They did everything else you needed to do to fully dominate a game like this. Just a dominant performance. The total time this game was tied was 59 seconds. Northwestern led for the remainder, the last 39 minutes and 1 second of game time. They led by 45 with 2:44 left. They covered a 14-point line by 24 points. They moved up to number 47 in the KenPom and up to number 50 in the RPI. That's just really how this game kind of was encapsulated. In a second, we're going to take a look at the individual performances that really stood out in this game. But first, we need to have a conversation, I guess, about this holiday season, because everybody's going to go see their family. Everybody's going to go have a good time. But did you know that driving high is considered driving under the influence? That's right. Driving under the influence of marijuana is against the law in every state, even in states where marijuana is legal. That means driving high could get you a DUI. And if you think law enforcement officers can't tell when you're driving high, you're wrong. Your friends can tell, your coworkers can tell, even your parents can tell. Everyone can tell. So what makes you think that law enforcement officers don't know when you're driving high? Driving under the influence of marijuana can slow your response time and change how you perceive time and speed. So even if you think you're fine to drive high, you're not. Because the bottom line is, if you feel different, you drive different. And driving high is driving under the influence. So remember, drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by the NHTSA. Also, thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen today. Now make Locked On Sports Today your second listen. Peter Bukowski brings you the biggest stories from around the sports world in 20 minutes. Get the analysis and opinions before anyone else with our local and national experts and insiders. Locked On Sports Today podcast, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All right, let's dive into the individual performers of this game. We'll start with UIC. Jace Carter, talked about earlier. He was leading the team with 16.8 points per game coming in, just 8 points in the game, 6 rebounds, though, so he made his impact felt, 3 assists, did have 5 turnovers, and that's that Northwestern defense that gets to teams that they play. 1 block, minus 40 in the plus minus, played in 37 of the 40 minutes of this game. Just 3 for 11 from the field and 1 of 5 from 3. Northwestern really swarmed him all game long. 1 of 3 at the line. Toby Akani, team leader in rebounds coming in. I think it was about 8 rebounds per game. 12 points in this one, 4 rebounds, 0 assists, also 5 turnovers, 2 blocks, 1 steal, minus 19 plus minus in 23 minutes, 3 of 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 5 of 7 from the line. And those are really your only 2 people that I would say were standouts for one way or the other in this game for UIC. Northwestern, let's dive into it. Chase Audige, second game in a row, leading the team in scoring, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He had 5 turnovers, which is just the one thing that Boo Buie and Chase Audige, besides being at times inefficient, they do have a tendency in certain games to have a little bit of the turnover bug hit them, and they fall victim to that. He had 1 steal as well, plus 36, plus minus in 29 minutes played, 8 of 16. Solid from 2 in the game, 1 of 5 from 3. Just kind of an off night from 3. If he shot better, who knows what he could have done from deep? Who knows how this Northwestern team, if they shoot how they did in the second half, who knows how many points they win this game by. 2 of 2 at the line for Chase Audige. Next up, Brooks Barnheiser, probably the player of the game in this one. He had 18 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, plus 29 in the plus minus in 27 minutes. He was 6 of 8 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, 4 of 4 at the line. Probably the best game Brooks Barnheiser has played all year. And, you love to see that as the rest of conference play is slowly approaching here. Boo Booey, 16 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, plus 26 in the plus minus in 24 minutes played. 7 of 12 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. Did not get to the free throw line. That's my only knock about his game tonight. Maybe could have crashed the boards a hair better and could have gotten to the free throw line a few times. Robbie Barron, 10 points, 2 rebounds, no assists, plus 28 in the plus minus in 27 minutes. 4 of 8 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, just an off night, just like Chase Audiche. 1 of 2 at the line. Julian Roper had a good game. 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, plus 21 in the plus minus in 22 minutes. 4 of 5 from the field, extremely efficient. 1 of 1 from 3, 3 of 3 at the free throw line. The more you get production like that out of him, the better this team will be going forward. Matt Nicholson, 7 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, plus 19 in the plus minus in 17 minutes. 3 of 5 from the field, plenty efficient. 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Feels like he just cannot get that game where he makes all his free throws for some reason. And then finally, Ty Berry, 2 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, plus 24 in the plus minus in 26 minutes of play. 1 of 8 from the field, not great. Not the efficiency that we've seen, not the spark that we've seen on the offensive end in certain points. 0 of 5 from 3, just a tough day shooting the ball. 1 of 2 at the line, but he did have those 7 boards, and he did have those 3 steals, and that is noteworthy to me. And that rounds out the group there as Northwestern cruises to a 92-54 victory over UIC to pick up their second win in the last few days, and they've got another one coming up in a couple days. So it's going to be a kind of a quick turnaround for them as they take on Brown on Thursday. We'll have that game covered here on the channel. We will get to that probably tomorrow. We're going to talk some signing day because that is taking place. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's episode. We really appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen every day. We really appreciate it. We're available wherever you get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can find us. We're also on YouTube. Just search Locked On Northwestern. You can find us there. Wherever you're listening, make sure you're subscribed. You turn on notifications. Give us some feedback. Leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And yeah, I'm your host, Carter Bird. You can follow me on social media at CarterBird13. I'll see you all next time.